The dude in the NFL, I got a couple. I say Odell Beckham Jr., Stephon Diggs, and Antonio Brown, and Larry Fitzgerald. Those are the guys I like to watch. You know, they go out there and make plays every week.
That's Gopher star wide receiver Tyler Johnson, 6 touchdowns in the Big Ten. He's a dude, and he's one of our guests today.
The other guy is backing up Ricky Rubio in Utah.
It's been hard to bet. Yeah, honestly, even in college and late in my high school, it was hard to be a Timberwolves fan.
Yep, that's right. We've got Tyler Johnson and Minnesota native and Ricky Rubio's backup point guard in Utah, Nate Wolters, on this episode of the GoMN One Hunnit Podcast. Oh, yeah.
What up, though?
Man, we got a great show today. Nate Wolters is a dude. He beat me in the YMCA back when he was in high school. I got a good story for you. You know who's on the show? Not this guy.
What's up? This is Jamal Crawford from the Timberwolves, and you're listening to the 100 Podcast.
But he's your best friend.
He is.
Oh, man, he loves you, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love him, too.
Oh,
he looked good the other night.
Yeah, he did.
You're in the 100 Podcast. Let's keep it 100 now.
What are you more excited for? The Vikings in a division without Aaron Rodgers? We'll talk about that.
We will.
The Gophers with an NFL caliber wide receiver, Tyler Johnson.
Yeah.
He's on the show.
He is.
Or the Timberwolves at home. You're going to sit courtside. You're going to spend the $300, you tell me.
I don't know about that.
You're going to spend that money, and you get to watch the home opener at the New Look Arena against Ricky Rubio and the Jazz.
You can sit in my lap.
Man, you ain't no Santa Claus.
Give me $150.
I am not giving you anything.
Hey, shout out to this one. We haven't been on the podcast since they won this championship.
Hey, this is Lindsay Whalen, and you're listening to the 100 Podcast.
Oh, my gosh.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep.
Hey, and tell you what, Lindsay Whalen, all-time great in the WNBA. There ain't no question about that.
Yeah.
And if you've got beef, give this number a call.
773-899-6071.
Yeah, no doubt.
And if you wanna talk about the guy who scored 12 points in his Timberwolves debut, give this number a call.
773-899-6071.
But we're not gonna panic about it.
No.
And we've got plenty of Wolves talk to come.
No panic.
Matter of fact, why don't we start the show with the Wolves talk? Should we?
Yeah.
We can do that.
Yeah.
We'll talk about a Minnesota Mount Rushmore for a Minnesota native.
Somebody on this show may or may not know how many people are on Mount Rushmore.
All right, let's get to it.
I don't know. You got to listen.
Vikes talker coming up. Teddy Bridgewater involved.
Yep.
He's back.
Yep.
Case Keenum, NFC North power rankings, all that kind of stuff, right? Tyler Johnson, Gophers wide receiver, coming up. Look in the description below to see exactly what time that's at. If you don't want to hear Nate Wolters here, you don't have to. You can fast forward.
Fast forward.
But Nate's pretty cool. He's one of us, all right? So let's talk to Nate, shall we?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
All right. Nate Wolters. I got to tell you, man, you don't know this, or maybe you do, but you and I go way back to the YMCA in St. Cloud. Did you know that?
Oh, really? No,
you have no idea here.
Are you from St. Cloud?
I lived there for a while. I used to call Ricori Spartan basketball games back when Justin Stummis was a baller up there.
Yep. Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Yeah, so we used to, you guys played each other a couple of times in high school, I believe, right?
Yep, he was a couple years older than me.
Yep.
But, like my sophomore year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty good. They beat us pretty bad my sophomore year. I remember that.
Yeah, I remember they were elite that year. I think they lost to St. Thomas Academy in the state semis or something like that. But so you were, a ninth grader or a sophomore, and you were getting varsity run at St. Cloud Tech. And I was at the YMCA with my buddy one day, and we were like, okay, let's go play a pickup game of basketball. And there was this young guy who looked like you. He was just torching all of us grown-ass men, and it was embarrassing. But then little did we know, I went to call a Ricori basketball game a couple of weeks later, and hey, there's this Nate Wolters guy. And I was like, that looks exactly like the dude who was killing us at Open Gym. Fast forward, and now you're in the freaking NBA, and I don't feel so bad.
Yeah, exactly. I played a lot of pickup back in the day, the YMCA, and then also the Whitney Center. So that probably was me.
So for the record, Joe is no better now than he was then. When we had Jamal in here, he actually challenged Jamal to a 3-point shootout, and Jamal laughed at him. But that's neither here nor there.
That's not a good idea, I don't think.
No, man, for sure. You're a Minnesota kid, obviously growing up in St. Cloud. But when you were at the Y torching Joe Nelson, did you ever dream that you even beyond that, be on a team one day with Ricky Rubio?
No, I kind of, in high school, it's pretty lightly recruited. Didn't have a ton of D1 interest, and then didn't have any D1 offers until my senior year. So my goal was always just to play college basketball somewhere. And, I mean, as it got a little older, my junior, senior year, Division I became more realistic. But, yeah, then after that, just kind of took it year by year and kept trying to improve. And it probably wasn't until my junior year in college where I thought NBA was a real possibility for me.
So who was your favorite player growing up in Minnesota?
Probably Kevin Garnett, just growing up in that age when they're making playoffs. And, I mean, I don't play anything like him or anything like him, but, yeah, just he was my favorite player growing up with a big Timberwolves fan.
So we're catching you straight out of the Utah Jazz shoot-around, and this is the morning of day game if people are tuning in afterwards. But what do you think of the new-look Target Center, man? It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks great. Yeah, it's great to have it renovated. I know it's probably needed it. But, yeah, it's great for them to have this facility and then also the practice gym, too. It was a really nice effort. So, yeah, I mean, it should be a fun year for them. I know with the new-look team and renovated Target Center should be good.
I'll go flashback with you a little bit more. I've only seen you play at Target Center one time, and that was your senior year at St. Cloud Tech. You guys ran into what I would consider the best high school basketball team Minnesota maybe has ever had when Hopkins had Royce White and about 7 other D1 players. Remember that?
Yeah, I mean, that was tough. I mean, we tried to hold the ball and stall, and we were undefeated going into that game too. But just talent-wise, we couldn't really match up with them. And, yeah, they were super talented. They had Marcus Williams, who plays in the NFL now,
yep.
Royce White, Trent Lockett, who's doing well overseas. So, yeah, they had a really good team. Yeah, we stuck with them the first half, and then second half they went on a run, and we couldn't really respond. So, yeah, I remember that game pretty well.
So, you went to South Dakota State, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so you're a Jackrabbit. So, do you keep up with the squad at all? And their women's team is really good. But do you keep up with the old teams at all?
Yeah. I still watch some games when I can. I mean, a lot of the guys that I've played with are all gone now. But yeah, I mean, they have a new coach as well, TJ. Austin Davis, Iowa State assistant. This is his second year, so I'll talk to him a little bit. He seems like a really good guy, so I think he's got the program going in the right direction still, and yeah, it's always good to see them have success. So
my daughters play. They're seniors in college up at West Point. They play basketball up there, and they were recruited by South Dakota State. So but my son plays football, and I'm gonna just leave this, and I'm gonna let Joe ask the next question. But he goes to Vermillion, so I'm gonna just say go Yotes.
Oh wow! Yeah, they're having a great. They're doing really well in football this year.
Yeah, man. I was just messing with you on that. But
see,
yeah.
That's a professional how they answer a question.
Yeah, they just joined the conference, the Summit League, my senior year. So I only played them a couple times. So the team I really hate is North Dakota State.
Oh man, we got that in common.
Yeah, so we can kind of bond with that.
Yeah. So full disclosure, I lived in Grand Forks for about 12 years, and that was back when they were all D2, so they had the Nickel Trophy. So, North Dakota State goes on to win 5 national championships, moving up to D1. And but North Dakota's claim to fame was they still have the Nickel Trophy because they won the last game before NDSU left.
Oh, great. Yeah, you have that.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach has to put you in tonight, Nate. I mean, come on. If Ricky has a triple-double or he's awful tonight, I don't care. You've got to play. Could you tell Coach, be like, man, this is my hometown. I got family here. Put me in.
No, this is my first year with the team. I don't really have much saying in any of that. I'm just glad to be here. I played overseas the last couple of years, so I'm really glad to be back in the States. And there's a good opportunity for me, so I'm looking forward to this season.
I'm going to email him, and you're going to be in the game. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you can do that for me if you want.
Yeah, are you going to email Jerry Sloan?
Yeah, him too.
Yeah, him too.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you played overseas, and I was in the military, and so I've been to Turkey on multiple occasions. So question for you, you like the winters in Minnesota, in Istanbul, or in Serbia better?
Yeah, definitely Istanbul. I think it only snowed like once the whole year, and yeah, it was like 50s most of the year, and it's a beautiful city. I really enjoyed my time there.
What about Serbia? What was that like?
Oh, it was fun. I was in Belgrade, so it's the biggest city in Serbia, and the fans were great. Had a great atmosphere, and people were fun, and it was a good time, and I enjoyed it. We were in the Euro League, so it was a really good competition, and it was a good experience.
So when I was in Incirlik, but we spent the New Year's Eve at in Ankara one time, and I don't know if you ever went from Istanbul to Ankara, it's the capital city of Turkey.
Yeah.
But man, I had one of the best times I've ever had in my military career was in Turkey in Ankara. It was great.
Yeah, it's a great country. When I signed there, I didn't know much about the area or anything about this Istanbul at all, and it was a beautiful city and great people too. So it was a really good experience.
You started your NBA career with the Milwaukee Bucks, and that was, I think, the Greek Freak's second year there, but really before he became like MVP Greek Freak. What do you remember about playing with him?
Yeah, I mean, we were drafted, actually. He was first round.
Was that the same year? Yeah, okay.
Yep. So I was with him my rookie year and then part of my second year. So he was, he's a really good guy. He was really young back then. I think he was 18 when he was drafted. But yeah, he's a great guy. And I mean, he showed glimpses of what he could become, just being so young. But I mean, his English has gotten so much better, and just dealing with living in the United States is a culture shock for him. His rookie year, and he's really adjusted well, obviously, and just super talented. So I'm really happy for him.
Can you spell his last name?
No. I don't even know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
I mean, it's called Giannis.
Yeah, exactly. Greek. That's why I called him Greek Freak. I didn't want to butcher his last name when talking to you. Oh my gosh.
That's a lot easier.
So what's Rubio like? Have you had conversations with him in Utah now? I mean, it's been a hot tick, but
he's a really nice guy. I think he's adjusted well to being here in Utah, and it's a good change of scenery for him. And I think he'll have a really big year here.
So, just full disclosure, I'm from Georgia, and I'm a Minnesota transplant. But I mean, you're a huge Minnesota sports fan, aren't you? Yeah,
big Twins and Vikings fan.
So our first guest was Byron Buxton. We've had Byron on a couple times now. We had Greg Jennings on. Greg Jennings, a friend of mine. But if you had a Mount Rushmore of Minnesota all time, obviously you're going to put Garnett on there. How many presidents are on the Rushmore, Joe?
Four. Come on.
So you got three more. I failed history. Yeah. So you got three more, man. Who you putting up there with Garnett?
Probably, obviously KG, for sure Randy Moss.
Yeah.
Adrian Peterson and Torrey Hunter.
Oh, I love that. What a sneaky take.
Yeah, good angle. Yeah.
Oh, that is good. I like that a whole bunch.
Yeah, that's good.
So you're not like a big hockey fan then?
Not a huge hockey fan. I mean, I follow the Wild mainly in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They've had success, and it's fun to see. I've been to a couple playoff games, and they're awesome. The atmosphere is great.
What about, this might be a little harder to think top of the head, but starting five all-time Minnesota Timberwolves team? Because, I mean, you've lived it and breathed it just like the rest of us. We're only – Jeremy's 40. I'm 33, so I'm only a little bit older than you. So we basically have seen the same guys.
Yeah, they haven't had a lot of success and great players. I mean, you can almost do the whole whatever team – starting five for whatever team that made the
03-04
finals that one year.
Yeah.
And add maybe Kevin Love in that. Sam Cassell pretty well.
Yeah.
KG, Kevin Love. I don't know.
I think that's about right. How good is Utah this year? We'll leave you on that because, I mean, a lot of people talk about the Western Conference and how loaded it is, and it feels like Utah and Minnesota kind of get talked about in that second tier, maybe third tier of teams that are either a bona fide playoff team or a fringe playoff team. But how good are you guys? You guys put a good win on Denver the other night.
Yeah, I mean, the West is loaded. Seems like every night there's going to be a tough game. And, I mean, obviously the top talent, the top couple teams are really hard to beat any given night. So, I think we got a lot of good players, a lot of depth. I think we'll be really good defensively, too, and keep us in every game. So, it should be a fun season. It's a great group of guys, great coaching staff. So, looking forward to the rest of the year.
All right, so tough spot for you. Last one here, Nate. Let's say Wiggins hits a 3 at the buzzer to beat you guys tonight. Are you going to cheer?
No way.
Come on, it's a terrible question.
Yeah, deep down, you know you want the Wolves to win, Nate.
That's a terrible question.
It's been hard to bet. Yeah, honestly, even in college and late in my high school, it was hard to be a Timberwolves fan.
God, yeah, it is difficult.
It's been mainly Vikings and Twins for the last 10 years or so.
Hey, Nate, me and Joe probably show up at the game tonight. We'll be the two handsome guys hollering at you, the 100 podcast.
Yeah.
So, for real, man. But
sounds good.
yeah, we're gonna tweet the episode at you, man. Just show us some love on Twitter, and we really appreciate you coming on with us.
All right, sounds good. Thanks
All
for having me.
Thanks, Nate. Good luck tonight. See you, man.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. See you.
Nate Wolters, man.
Cool cat.
The cat can absolutely ball. I know he's fringe NBA player, right? But he can stick on a roster for a full season. He just needs opportunity.
Yeah.
And he got that in Utah when Dante Exum got hurt, and I hope he sticks, man.
Yeah, me too.
He's a good guy.
I mean, he playing behind Rubio, man. You might be in there any minute.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what Quinn Snyder's leash is like for guys who shoot 33%. But we're going to find out because that's what Rubio is, 33%.
I thought Jerry Sloan was the coach.
Yeah. I think Jerry Sloan is closer to being dead than his funeral is closer than his last game coached.
Probably.
I don't think he's dead, is he?
No, he's not dead.
No, Jerry Sloan's still kicking over
Yeah.
there. He runs the whole franchise.
He was like 80 when he retired.
Yeah.
From
He's
coaching.
like 99 now.
Yeah.
He's older than Sid Hartman.
He was 80 and Stockton was 74.
Yeah. Him and Sid Hartman went to the same school, high school,
Oh, man.
same year.
NBA, though.
The NBA is awesome, man. The Wolves, everybody kind of, after a game number 1, lost in San Antonio, woke up the next day, went to bed that night, negative. And you were one of those guys. You're like Taj Gibson, man. I don't know about this one. Jeff Teague, I don't know about this one. What's with the bad attitude?
I was not negative on Jeff Teague. I was negative on Tibbs for sitting Jeff Teague.
Oh, okay.
Game's on the line, 3 minutes left. It's a 3-point game.
Yeah.
You can't have a guy you paid $47 million to sitting on the bench.
Yeah. No, I agree with it.
He's your starting
Made no
point guard.
sense.
Now,
It's one game though.
I get it, and I would also run the quarter forward lineup like that. Taj is coming out in most fourth quarters, and Jamal's going in.
A lot of times.
Yeah, you got to have it like that. Listen, I'm down on. I've never been big on Taj Gibson, but Taj Gibson has a role to play on this team, and it's not taking 3-point shots from the corner.
He was.
I know he developed
took
it.
one,
and he took a couple of mid-range jumpers too. I just thought they settled for bad shots early, but it's the Spurs. They make you do that. You know what I mean?
Even without Kawhi Leonard.
Even without Kawhi Leonard, even without Tony Parker.
Yeah,
right?
Yes.
That's what they make you do. And I don't think a close loss on the road to the San Antonio Spurs is the end of the world.
It's not the end of the world.
I'm not
People
concerned with the L
down.
because if you go 81-1, you still make the playoffs.
I did a story.
Or as Christian Ponder would say, you still make playoffs.
Make playoff.
Yeah.
I woke up on Thursday morning and I felt rather optimistic, actually. And I have 5 reasons. Can I throw these at you? And you debunk these if you think they're wrong.
Let's go.
So, Timberwolves, why are they good? Well, I think actually the fact that Tyus Jones played in the fourth quarter shows you have a nice 1-2 punch at point guard. And it's not just like this gaping hole of insignificance when Jeff Teague's not in the game. To me, it's a nice 1-2 punch. Tyus can't D, but he can run an offense. But he can push the ball.
But I think the problem with that theory is you lose all scoring from the point guard position if Tyus is in there in the fourth quarter. He can't score.
Outside of transition, he can't score. I agree with you. In the NBA, he's not big or fast enough.
Jeff Teague is a scorer.
He needs to have an open look for 3 to hit that, and that's about it. He's not a great shooter.
Teague can get buckets.
He can, absolutely.
Yeah.
And people should stop giving up on him over that one game. Number 2, Jimmy Butler, even though he scored 8 points in the first quarter, none in the second, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. He largely disappeared.
Yep.
I'm not going to panic about that. It's Jimmy freaking Butler, plus he wreaked a little bit of havoc on defense.
Yeah, he definitely wouldn't panic or think anything into Jimmy Butler's performance.
I'm going to say this, and I know it's going to get you excited because he's your best friend now, but Jamal Crawford might be the most important player on the freaking team.
I like the dude.
Because you need depth in the NBA. Last year, we had a problem with depth in Minnesota. It was Nemanja Bjelica and Shabazz Muhammad coming off the bench. And on many nights, both of them were ice cold. And that's why you'd see the Wolves starting 5 go out there, let it up. They'd come off the floor, and all of a sudden, every team caught up. That's why all those double-digit leads were blown and wins were turned to losses. I think a quarter of the Wolves' games last season, they blew a double-digit lead, right? That's insane. Well, Jamal comes off the bench. Not only can he score on his own, he had 5 assists.
5 assists.
That's the biggest number of the whole night to me.
Yep, and that's what I was going to say. So people think Jamal Crawford, they think instant offense, right?
Well, that's true.
Getting buckets. And by the way, when the dude's got the ball, I know he's my friend now, but even if he wasn't, the dude's got the ball in his hands. How smooth is he?
Oh, he's so smooth.
I mean, it took him 6 seconds to drop.
Hey, will you open up your text machine, your phone, and go back and forth the texts you guys were sending each other? This was so good. So from the night of the game.
Yeah. So I texted him in the game, and I was like,
read it word for word. It's
okay.
Good. It's really good.
So I was like, good game, Ma. It's so much fun watching you here in Minnesota. He put, my brother, thank you for the message. And I put, my pleasure. And I said, by the way, it's not fair to us 40-year-olds. You're 37, and it took you 6 seconds to drop Patty Mills with a fresh crossover.
And he did.
And he laughed, and he put, I got to see that play. And I haven't seen it, so I sent it to him.
You sent him the video.
I sent him the video, and he was laughing. But literally,
he crossed him over behind the back.
He crossed him behind the back, dropped Patty Mills, and within 30 seconds had a bucket.
Yeah, it was awesome.
But back to your point, if you watch any of Jamal Crawford's summer league, which he's got a big time, they talked about it ad nauseum.
Yeah.
On the he's got a big time summer league in Seattle, where everybody goes to get run. That's what he does in the summer league.
That's what he does.
Drops dimes, and that's what he did Wednesday night.
Yeah.
He not only he got buckets, got to the free throw line where he's about a 90% free throw shooter, but he was dropping dimes. He was facilitating offense.
I was also really impressed with Andrew Wiggins because he not only did he light it up and he shot well and hit 4 or 5 threes, but he looks physically bigger, thicker, stronger, more muscular, like he's finally grown that man's body. He's getting closer.
Yep.
You remember, he's still only 22
he's
years
so
old. Just like Greek Freak, he's 22 years old. That's insane. And you know what else? Wiggins looks a lot smoother with the ball in his hands. He's not as herky-jerky. His three-point shot looks more in rhythm. Everything looked better.
You concerned with Wiggins' defense, though? He's a bit of a liability on defense.
He can be a liability, and I'm not sure if it's just that he's just not checked in all the time. But there's a reason, rest in peace, Flip Saunders, but Flip put him one-on-one against James Harden when Wiggins was a rookie, and Harden had an off night.
Yep.
When he's given a task by a head coach to say, stop this man.
Yep.
He can stop anybody in the NBA.
I think
he's capable. I don't know if it's there every single night.
If any coach can get the defense out of a guy, it's going to be Tibbs.
It should be Tibbs.
Yeah. So,
it should be Tibbs.
What else you got?
And last but not least, people need to realize the Wolves hadn't played in 10 days. They were coming off of only 3 preseason games, and 2 of them were in China.
You just held up 4 fingers. Yeah. So it's a radio podcast, so he says 3 preseason games while holding up 4 fingers.
Think about this.
Joe Nelson, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I'm a genius. You didn't know how many people were on Mount Rushmore.
That's true.
We talked about that before the show.
I totally blanked on that, and I've been there.
Yeah, and then Nate Wolters is like, dude, there's 4.
Yeah, totally blanked. Totally blanked.
Yeah.
You thought Jerry Sloan was the coach of Utah.
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah, right.
Anyway.
But hey, listen to me. You could be 20 games into the season and then take 10 days off, come back, and how are you going to play? You're going to have rust. This is the first game of the year after a 10-day break.
Yeah, because that trip to China actually hurt the Warriors. Yeah, no.
Well, it did. They lost.
Yeah, they did lose.
I'm just saying.
No, but I get it, though. They hadn't played at home.
Yeah.
They were on the road again, 3 preseason games. I'm not concerned. Like I said, I'm only concerned with why wasn't Teague in the game, and it wasn't like Tyus was playing out of his mind, you know?
Yeah, no, nobody was. I mean, nobody really played that great that night. Butler didn't play great, but everyone talked about Belly, and I was like, dude, this is Nemanja Bjelica. He's not that good.
Belly. His first, I think, his first 6 minutes, he was bad. A couple of turnovers.
Yeah, and then he scored like 8 points in the third. And
everyone had some uncharacteristic turnover. Even Jamal had a bad turnover off the pick and roll. He tried to throw.
I'm going to tell him you said that.
Cat was getting abused a little bit by LaMarcus Aldridge.
Oh, God, we got murdered down low.
Yeah.
That wasn't just Cat. That was Gorgie, Paul Gasol, LaMarcus Aldridge. They made the Timberwolves look like idiots. They made them look like children in the block.
Shabazz, he looked lost.
Oh, yeah, man. That's good.
I don't know what he brings to the team.
Well, that's the thing is that if you want to have a structured offense and Shabazz is on the floor, he ain't going to pass the ball when he gets it.
And Gorgie's not bringing any offense.
Gorgie does bring offense, but he did not bring anything to the table in the opener. He looked like he hadn't played basketball before in his life.
I just thought that, and this is my only, I just thought early in the game, you got to go down to Cat, and we'd settle for jumpers.
I'm with you.
And I'm saying we because I'm a Wolves fan now.
Well, Jimmy Butler kind of is to blame for that.
You remember I broke up with the Hawks.
Yeah, I remember that. You
so
broke up with them. Yeah, you should be a we.
Yeah,
Your best friend is Jamal freaking Crawford.
I am a we.
Yeah. Who's a better friend, Jamal Crawford or Greg Jennings?
Both.
Come on, answer the question.
I don't know.
Who's a better friend? Who texts you more?
Jamal.
Okay.
And Greg.
No.
No, they both text me a lot. I don't know. I don't count. They both text me more than you, so what does that say?
Whose house have you been to more recently?
I've never been to Jamal's house.
Whoa.
He just got here.
Okay. You've been to Greg's house?
I have.
And then have you been back since then?
No.
Oh.
I've been invited back.
What happened?
Greg.
What happened?
What up, Greg?
Did you steal something from the bathroom?
No. I went swimming in the pool, though.
Maybe that's why.
No,
Did you leave something in the pool?
In all honesty, I hate for them to listen to the show and think that. But they're not listening to the show.
But Greg Jennings has better things to do.
Dude, Greg is in L.A. all the time. He's never here. Literally.
Just saying.
He's
I don't
never
know
here.
why. I think, during the summer he wasn't there.
When?
He was our third guest on this show.
Was he our third guest?
Third guest.
Dang.
And you want to know something? He hasn't been back on yet. He hasn't gotten us Brett Favre.
There's nothing we can do at his house.
Why isn't Aaron Rodgers on the? Oh, that's right. Aaron Rodgers probably hates him
Yeah.
because he rips Rodgers all the time.
Dude, but we played golf like 10 times after that show.
Mm-hmm.
What are we going to go to the house and do? Play tiddlywinks?
Did he borrow your clubs or something? He needed you? Were you with a caddy?
And we played putt-putt.
Were you the caddy?
No.
Yeah, you did play mini golf with him.
Yeah.
Who do you think projects as a better friend long term, Jamal or Greg?
Well, it's tough to say. I say both. Here's why I say both. Jamal's daughter and my daughter are best friends.
Yeah.
Okay. In fact, they gave each other a cough that now has been passed on to me.
Daddy's sick.
Yeah. So, but Greg's son, Ace, is also best friends.
He
with
named
him.
his kid Ace.
Dude, didn't you see? Teddy retweeted Greg one day, and Greg tweeted a picture of Ace from school.
Greg named his kid Ace.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Teddy retweeted it was like A Boogie.
Yeah.
So now
That's awesome.
I call Ace A Boogie every time I see him.
Oh man, see, when we were gonna have a baby, and we did, we had a little girl named Monroe. She's a year old now.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Thank you.
Yeah,
we
Monroe's
did.
won.
We
Is she
waited
walking
to find.
now? Did I see?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
she's running.
Yeah,
it happens fast.
It
but
does.
Listen to me on this. I wanted, if it were a boy, because we waited to find out the gender. If it were a boy, I was like, let's name this boy Rock Nelson. I think that's so cool.
How many times
And
did
I bet
Ashley punch you in your face?
She had none of that, right?
No.
None of that.
Nope.
Didn't want any part of that name. And I was like, Rock Nelson, come on.
So when Layla was born, Layla's, leading up to, obviously Layla's 4.5 now.
Yeah.
So, but leading up to that, for the first 20 weeks, obviously, like you said, you don't know. We did find out at 20 weeks. Mm-hmm. But when she was pregnant, I was calling the baby Buddy because I was, thinking, okay, it's going to be a boy.
That's a gender neutral word.
So glad it's a girl. But if Layla would have been a boy, guess what Layla's name would be?
Jeremy Jr. or Jamal Gregg. I don't know what.
Asher
Allen, former Georgia Bulldog.
Former Georgia Bulldog, former Minnesota Viking. But I just love the name. Would have been Asher.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a good name.
Yeah.
But Rock would have been cool.
No, Rock would have got you divorced.
I just imagine like the kid in school and they're doing attendance. Rock Nelson here.
Ashley, if you're listening to this show, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for not having a boy and not naming it Rock.
Let's talk to somebody else who's a stud. All right.
Yeah.
Because you were busy. You didn't want to go down and talk to him because he's probably my friend now and not yours.
He is.
Gophers wide receiver Tyler Johnson. I actually went down to practice and was like, what's up, TJ?
Think you could cover him?
He's got 6 touchdowns in the Big Ten.
How many?
He's a former Mr. Basketball and Mr. Football finalist. And no, I couldn't do any. He literally tells me coming up here that he could get a running start and jump over me, and I'm 6'2". He could jump over the top of me.
Demery Croft's the quarterback now.
Yeah.
And you and I have been to practice.
Yeah.
And we thought it should have been day one.
Yeah.
Obviously, some things, here we are.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Demery's only going to get better.
Yeah. And guess who he's going to keep throwing the ball to?
Tyler Johnson. If you covered him for an entire game, like they do with Xavier Rhodes, they say, Xavier, that's Brian over there.
Well,
shut him down. And an entire game, full football game.
Yeah.
Joe Nelson,
yeah,
cornerback for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Uh-huh.
And you're covering Tyler Johnson, wide receiver, Minnesota Golden Gophers. Give me his stat line at the end of the day. Not the score of the game.
Let's see.
Give me his stat line.
All right. They'd probably take him out midway through probably third quarter. He'd be able to sit, rest. Let's say they ran 40 plays in the first 2.5 quarters. he'd have 40 receptions for probably 860 yards and 30 touchdowns. Only 10 of those 40 would have been stopped before they got to the end zone.
All right, and we're going to go to this interview right after this.
Yeah.
How many PBUs do you have?
Pass breakups?
Yeah.
I bet I can get one or two.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Nelson. All right, let's go talk to Tyler.
Yeah, I'll talk to Tyler. You stay here.
Yeah, I'm going to stay
Here
here.
he is.
What up?
So get real with me. What's the difference between you, high school, you last year, and you this year?
I would just say the difference is me learning every day.
Yeah.
You know, in high school, you know, I also learned a lot. Last year, I learned a lot getting some time on the field. And this year, I'm learning even more, I would say, you know, with me getting a lot of playing time and things like that. So a lot of things are being thrown at me, but I'm just handling the things the right way.
Your offensive coordinator, I know you've heard this already, but he called you a dude.
Yeah.
So a dude in your mind, what is that?
Well, I would say the dude is like, for our offensive coach, in my mind, it's the go-to guy.
Yeah.
So, you know, he when we have one-on-one conversations here and there, you know, he uses that term a lot, the dude, you know. And so whenever he says that, I'm just like, all right, coach, I got you, you know what I'm saying?
Who's the dude in the NFL that you look up to or you like to watch?
The dude in the NFL, I got a couple. I say Odell Beckham Jr.,
Oh, yeah.
Stephon Diggs, and Antonio Brown, and Larry Fitzgerald. Those are the guys I like to watch. You know, they go out there and make plays every week.
You met any of those guys? I mean, like Diggs and Fitz, they're from here. I mean, obviously Diggs plays here, but Fitz is from here. Have you met them?
I met Fitz at a camp years back ago.
Okay.
But I have not met anybody else.
Okay, all right. What about Gopher greats? I know I've seen you tweet. Ron Johnson, he's reached out to you. I know you guys know each other. Eric Decker. And I did a story on GoMN.com a few weeks ago. I was like, man, Tyler Johnson keeps this up. He's entering that kind of territory. I mean, that's elite Gopher football history right there. Have you talked to those guys?
No, I have not talked to anybody else. The only person that I really communicate with here and there is Ron Johnson.
Okay, all right. So Decker's never been like, hey man, watch my records.
Nah, not at all.
Do you feel like this is all real now? I mean, because you got 6 touchdowns on the season, 3 in 1 quarter last week. It's happening quickly. And from afar, as a fan, I mean, we're as biased as we come in media. I'm going to admit that right now, Zeke. I love the Gophers. I've always loved the Gophers growing up. So it's really cool to see the hometown guy stay home. But does it feel real to you yet?
Yeah, you know, it's a dream come true.
Yeah.
You know, playing in the home state, I would say, it's just all just clicking. You know, so I'm just liking the process and loving the process, I should say.
I talked to your high school basketball coach at Minneapolis North a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. It was a feature about just what basketball means to North Minneapolis.
Yeah.
What did it mean to you? I mean, because you were a freaking monster.
Basketball in North Minneapolis is huge. You know, I would say that's probably the main sport in Minneapolis is basketball. And so, like, plenty of the games my senior year, even my junior year, it was just always packed, you know, because the fans would just always come out.
And you guys were awesome.
Yeah. So they just want to see the boys out there make plays, and that's what we did.
And Coach McKenzie, he told me, you know, because there was like a little drought until your squad at Minneapolis North came back in and started giving some titles to North Minneapolis, or at least even just getting to the state tournament. There was a little drought going back to the old Patrick Henry days in the early 2000s when you were really young.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even know if you remember those Patrick Henry teams, but those guys were sick. Lawrence McKenzie and Johnny Gilbert and all these guys, right? Yeah. But there was a drought. And Coach McKenzie said, well, it's largely in part because a lot of these kids are being lured away to other schools. They want to play for the winter, and open enrollment allows you to do that. What made you want to stay at North?
I would say it was a late decision, actually.
Yeah.
You know, I actually chose to stay at North, I would say, about 3 days before the school year started my freshman year. You know, I lived like 10 blocks away from the school, so it was just walking distance. My dad and my mom, they just had the decision for me to stay. And, you know, my mom, she went to North, she graduated from North. My dad graduated from Henry, so
okay.
And things like that, you know, so that's what a key factor. My dad just had the faith in the program.
That's the rivalry. That's Henry and North is coming back too.
Yeah.
Do you ever go to games now?
I'm always at those two games. North and Henry, I'm just always like, that's first on my priority list is those 2 games of the year.
Has Richard Pitino walked up to you yet and been like, what are you doing when PJ Fleck's not looking?
Not at all. You know, Richard, I actually see him a lot. You know, he encourages me on the year, and just we actually talk here and there. So, yeah.
You could have played D1 basketball, right? Football was your love, though?
I would say the love was just equal.
Okay.
I just said that football just stuck out to me more.
Yeah. Well, Good decision, man, because you're a dude now.
Appreciate you.
Do you ever hear that comparison to Corey Davis, just because the Western Michigan coaching staff is now here? Corey Davis was a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. Is that kind of thinking part of your plan long term? I mean, do you want to go pro? What is on your mind?
My mind is to go pro. It is to get my degree also.
Yeah.
So those are on my mind right now. I would say that the comparison to Corey, not so much, but my teammates, they joke around sometimes and things like that here and there. But so yeah.
Who do they compare you to?
When they do compare me, I'll say it's a joking matter. They just throw out plenty of names. It's hard to think of something right now. So.
You are kind of like Stephon Diggs to me. I mean, he was a friend of the show on the podcast. Because you're not like 6'5" or anything. What are you, 6'2"?
Yeah, 6'2".
What did you run the 40 in?
I can't remember the time, but we did it in winter conditioning this past year.
Fast enough. What's your vertical? You got to know that because it's...
Vertical,
You jump over me right now?
Right now?
No, I'm not asking you to, but could you?
Standing, not so sure, but if I get a step, I probably can.
Oh, my God. What's it feel like to dunk?
To dunk, one of the great feelings, especially being out there with my teammates. It was just fun, And I also had a teammate, Jamil Jackson, that did the same thing.
Yeah, he's insane.
So,
where's he at now?
He's at Utah State.
That's right. He transferred. He was up in North Dakota or something like that, right? Yeah, he was. I couldn't believe. I mean, that dude's a monster.
Yeah.
He came out as a freshman last year and was just lighting up North Dakota and everyone they played. I have to ask you though, from a football standpoint, what is your favorite part of the game?
My favorite part of the game is going out there every game day and just having fun.
Yeah.
Because, everybody knows that the football career is not going to last forever. So I'll just say I cherish every moment that I'm out there on the field and just getting the game day feeling.
You ever look at a guy across the line of scrimmage and just know you got him?
I would say my mindset whenever I'm on the field is I can't be stopped, really. Going and having that mindset, I feel like that's the right way, because whenever I know it's a one-on-one rep or I'm expected to get the ball, I'm going to give it my all, which I do every play,
right.
But I know that whenever it's demanded out of me, I got to give it my best.
Your high school coach, Larry McKenzie, said, rumor has it your best sport is not football. Your best sport is not basketball, but baseball. What's this story?
I would say I stopped playing baseball about when I was probably in like 7th grade. I started growing, my knees were starting to hurt, so I just stopped playing the sport. But I grew up at my parents' house. I got a lot of trophies over there, me and my little brother. We got a lot of baseball trophies still.
So you were a beast.
Oh, I was all right, I guess you could say.
How hard did you throw? Did you pitch or what position did you play?
I actually played pretty much almost everything, truthfully, yeah. So at Park Board, you can really play a lot.
Okay.
You just get thrown around.
All right, man. Well, hey, nice chatting with you, Tyler. Good to meet you.
Thank you.
We'll keep watching, rooting for North Minneapolis and the local products. Oh, high school kids up and coming today. I know you support them on Twitter all the time. You're all about the kids. These guys are just barely younger than you, but guys like Jalen Suggs and Trey Jones. Who's your guy?
Well, I'm actually close with both of them, I would say. So I'm in contact with both of them here and there, But I would really say both of them.
Yeah.
I like both of them. I love both of them.
Minnesota's on the rise, man. You're part of that.
Yeah.
So we appreciate that. It's cool that you stayed home, and all Gopher fans are loving watching it. So, all right, man. Tyler Johnson on the One Hunnit Podcast.
Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you. Good luck against Illinois, man.
Thank you.
Gophers are going to beat Illinois. I think we both agree on that.
They have to.
They will.
Yeah.
Right.
They've got to.
But Tyler Johnson will be a big part of that game for sure. That's I don't even know what time to kick off, but it's on Saturday. This is a podcast, so I don't really have to know.
I mean, if you lose to Illinois, the seat gets real hot in year one.
Yeah, PJ, you may not want to wear snow pants this winter because they're going to be hot enough.
I mean, listen, there's going to be a lot of SEC jobs opening up.
Shut up. PJ Fleck is here to stay. We all know this is a process.
I mean, he said it was his dream job, but is that for real?
What's your dream job? Did you tell your current employer that it's your dream job?
The One Hunnit Podcast is my dream job.
Yeah, me too, actually.
I just wish we could get paid for it.
Oh, my gosh, me too. That'd be the bomb.
Yeah, no, but you can't lose to Illinois.
No. But you know who it sucks to be right now? Joe Flacco.
Oh, my goodness.
He is going to have a nightmare at U.S. Bank Stadium on Sunday.
That's the Vikings are the last team you want to play when you have no weapons.
Yeah.
To throw the ball to.
And by no weapons, we mean Griff Whalen. Griff Whalen is a guy they just signed off the freaking street today. He played for John Harbaugh's brother at Stanford. That's kind of how they know each other, right? But Griff Whalen might legitimately be Baltimore's number 1 wide receiver on Sunday. That's bad news because Brashad Perriman, he got hit helmet to helmet last Sunday. Nasty. It was down, walked out, still in concussion protocol.
Yep.
Our former guy in Minnesota, Mike Wallace, he's dinged up. Probably going to be one of those game time decisions or a late Saturday decision. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
And then who's the other dude they got? Jeremy Maclin.
He
hasn't practiced all week, so
Right.
we don't think he's going to play. And if he does, he's not going to be 100%, and he'll have Xavier Rhodes all over him.
Anytime you have to sign a guy that everybody needs to Google,
Yeah.
and you're playing the Minnesota Vikings defense, which I'm just going to say it, and I'm a Falcons fan. We listeners of the show well know that's the best defense in the NFL.
It is from the eye test and according to the Pro Football Focus folks. They say it's the number 1 defense in the NFL. 6 games in, they've already hurried a quarterback 100 times.
All you got to do is look at what the Saints are doing on offense. They're clicking a little bit on offense now. Mm-hmm. They came here, game 1, U.S. Bank Stadium, and couldn't get anything going.
Nothing.
I've been hard on Harrison Smith since he left Notre Dame. I haven't been as high on him as the national media. I'm done with that. Dude is give me 11 Harrison Smiths on my defense, and we're going to roll.
He's really good. And here's the thing. Baltimore's offensive line has been doing a pretty good job run blocking. I think as a team, they're averaging 4.3 yards per carry. And it's kind of like this 3-headed, not really a monster, but kind of like a 3-headed dog. So it's Alex Collins, it's Terrence West, and it's Buck Allen. Do any of those 3 names strike fear in you if you're a defense?
No.
Absolutely not. And the Vikings have the 3rd best rush defense in the NFL.
Is Buck Allen a real person?
Buck Allen's real name is Javorius. It doesn't help.
Sounds like
you think it gets worse.
Sounds like what we call Paul Allen if he was playing football.
Yeah, man.
Buck.
It's one of the exactly. I had a friend we called Buck back in high school. He's not in the NFL.
Hey,
and
Buck's
neither
a friend
should
of the
Buck
show.
Allen. Honestly, they have no shot. None.
I got to make a confession here.
Yeah.
Confession mode.
Yeah.
Xavier Rhodes is better than Desmond Trufant.
Oh, thank you. Finally.
But let me caveat that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He's playing behind the best defensive line in the game.
It helps.
It makes it a little bit easier on a corner. Our defensive line has been banged up. Vic Beasley's been hurt. So, Trufant's a little bit more, has to do a little more. But Xavier Rhodes is a better cornerback than Desmond Trufant.
Now that Aaron Rodgers is out for rest of the season, most likely with his broken collarbone, more on that to come, by the way. There's some
I got a
great
joke
stuff
about that.
I do too. Tell yours.
Hey, Aaron Rodgers walks into a bar.
That's a joke.
So,
more on that.
You know what?
Prayer.
We shouldn't make fun of that. There's vigils being held in Wisconsin.
Right. It's a serious issue.
We shouldn't make fun of that. Maybe they'll, at their stakeholders meeting, they'll have a moment of silence.
I bet they will.
I mean, he didn't die.
No, but his collarbone did.
Well, yeah, it did.
Yeah. A guy sent us a picture on the GoMN Sports Facebook account. A picture in the comment section on the story about Rodgers saying, hey, comeback starts now, and he's tweeting from the hospital bed. The guy sends a picture of an Aaron Rodgers jersey with one shoulder on the hanger and the other part of the hanger snapped. That's pretty good.
Perfect, yeah.
Anyway, but we digress.
But is that the beginning of the end?
I don't think it's the beginning of the end. It's definitely the end this season for Green Bay.
Yeah, right. But I mean for Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you've seen collarbone injuries never quite heal.
Yeah.
I mean, you've seen it. They tend to
come
just
back
because of where the bone is and the exposure and the way you are in football and landing on those, they tend to crack again and snap again. I mean, and that offensive line is not going to protect them this year. And unless they do some drastic makeover to that O-line, it's not going to protect them next year.
Well, if there was ever a time for another team in the division to strike, and by strike I mean really attack free agency hard with a aggressive mentality and draft right, Green Bay can't fix everything all at once. They just can't. Like you said, the offensive line is bad. Rodgers is going to get pounded, not only if he plays again this year, which is very unlikely,
right,
but again next year. I mean, it's going to take some massive upgrades. But this year, speaking just about this year, where do the Vikings rank in the NFC now? Because you look around, I mean, it's like, okay, Philly's pretty good. We totally missed the boat on how bad the Giants are.
We both
what the hell
did.
was that? I think everybody did.
We both did.
The Cowboys don't look that good.
No.
Philly smoked Carolina. I don't think Carolina's as good as their record is.
No, they've played 3 of the worst pass defenses in a row. It made them look a little better than they were.
Atlanta's good.
Atlanta's an eyelash from being 1-4. Let's just be honest about it.
No, that's true. They should have lost to the Bears.
But they're 3-2. Okay. And they got the Patriots. They got to go to New England. So
you're 3-3.
They're a win away. They can beat New England. I'm not. Yeah. New England's defense is trash.
Yeah, that might be a 45-42 game.
It may be. We may have to win a shootout. But here's the deal. Vic's back. Vic's healthy. So that helps our defense. But Atlanta is a New England loss from being 3-3 and leaving all of us at this point in the season scratching our heads because I thought we'd be 5-1.
Yeah.
Or we're a win away from being 4-2 and breathing a sigh of relief.
Yeah.
So at this point, there is no great team in the NFC.
That's what I'm saying.
I told you laughed at me, but the Rams look good. Jared Goff is legit. Todd Gurley might be the MVP.
They're definitely better than I thought they were. Going to Jacksonville and winning on the road, I think was really impressive.
You've got to look at it
in
the context of the NFC, though.
Yeah, in the context of the NFC,
they're as good as anybody.
That's just it. And we're at such a early stage of the season. There's a number of things that could happen, just an injury or whatever that could change the dynamic. Let's say. and
the Lions are in full lion mode.
The Lions are the Lions. They're either 8-8 or 9-7.
Yeah.
Fringe playoff team. Nobody wants to play them, but good chance to get their ass kicked, right?
Yeah.
That's who they are. The Vikings are the best defense in the NFL, but they have Case Keenum at quarterback, which leads us to another point. If you're in the playoffs and Teddy Bridgewater's healthy, this is what you wanted to talk about, and I love this talker.
Yeah.
If Teddy Bridgewater's healthy and he's been practicing for 10 weeks by then, and Case Keenum's still kind of Case Keenum, I mean, that's a scary proposition to go into a playoff game and say, all right, Case, you're the man, because he can literally throw a game away by himself.
But I think in that situation, his leash is so short.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's literally Teddy's buckled up, helmet strapped on. Have we completely eliminated Sam Bradford from the entire season discussion?
It feels like from his career. I mean, honestly, nobody's talking about Sam Bradford as a potential option down the road, and there's a reason for that.
Yeah.
Even internally, the Vikings aren't like, yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
He's not okay. When you get the Kobe Bryant blood spinning therapy, it ain't good, okay? That means everything in that knee is shot.
Yeah.
You got to regenerate everything. It's we're at stem cell point.
Yeah.
Not good.
He may get cut.
I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with him. But to me, it's a two-man QB room right now.
But you can't change quarterbacks in the playoffs.
No.
If Case gets you there, he's got to start.
He's going to stay there, and he'll play a whole game until he gets hurt.
Yep.
But that's the frightening part is that a guy like Teddy, he's careful. He's a game manager, you can say.
Yeah.
But he's not going to throw the game away. How many times, even when Case is putting up some decent numbers already this season, has he been going down in a would-be sack and he throws it into an ill-advised window and gets fortunate that it wasn't picked off?
Right.
I mean, he's done that a lot. Last week, he should have thrown 3 interceptions, but he didn't. Against Tampa Bay, he should have thrown 2 or 3 interceptions. They weren't picked off. I mean, he's been begging for teams to go to the house. But I look at
some of the past Super Bowl champions who were almost built like this Vikings team. An incredible defense. Look at some of the Ravens with Trent Dilfer and even early Joe Flacco.
Oh, yeah.
They went out and won Super Bowls with a run game and defense.
Yeah.
And didn't have a great quarterback, and here we are now. The Vikings are in that same boat. They may have the best, in the conversation, best defense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have a great quarterback. Lost their superstar stud running back to a knee.
Yeah. So
it's all pieced together now. But while you figure it out on offense, that defense is good enough. As Everson Griffith said about Linval Joseph, what did he say? He said he's a rock.
Oh, he's an anchor.
He's an anchor.
Yeah, he said he's a mother bleeping anchor. He said it like 3 times. Actually, our sports guy D2 for GoMN.com was in that interview huddle.
Yeah.
And he said it was the best, 10 seconds of his life.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's had a lot of great 10-second windows.
What was the knock on Linval Joseph when he got drafted by the Vikings? His arms?
They didn't draft him. They signed him in free agency.
When they signed him. Was it his – no, that was Sharif Floyd. My bad.
Oh, Sharif Floyd had the alligator arms.
The short arms.
Yeah, the Florida Gator with the gator arms.
Right, yeah. No, Linval is he's a mountain.
Yeah.
Can't move him. And it just gives guys like Daniil Hunter, who's only going to get better.
And Everson Griffin.
You can't block those two guys an entire game.
And you can't block Brian Robinson when he's playing, half the snaps he's played in the past. The guy's an animal. He's an Olympic caliber athlete. I mean, shot put and all that stuff at Texas, he was a beast. Yeah. He's older, but he's really effective coming in late in downs. And it's a lot like the Bronco. Was it the Bronco? Who used Dwight Freeney a couple years ago? Came off the edge. Was it Atlanta?
Yeah, Dwight Freeney.
Dwight Freeney coming off the edge.
Yep.
I mean, he was so
he only played 15 plays a game.
But when he came in, he was like, all right, here comes that spin move. And
Yep.
Robinson's kind of got that sort of role with the Vikings this season. I'm pumped about Minnesota, but down the stretch, the schedule is flat out nasty. There's still road games in Atlanta. You've got Carolina. You've got at Lambeau still. That's going to be a tough game. We don't know how good Brett Hundley is. We've never gotten a full taste of him, right? He might be good. We don't know. There's a lot of games on that schedule that are pretty scary if you're Minnesota.
Yep. I think the NFC comes down to probably 2 or 3 teams, and I'm going to keep Atlanta in there just because they're too talented.
Absolutely, Atlanta's going to be there at the end. Philly looks like they're going to be there.
Philly looks like they're good. They're going to be there. The Vikings, and then I'm going to put, because I don't know. At any court decision, Ezekiel Elliott could be gone for 6 weeks.
Right.
So I'm not going to put them in there. I'm going to think the Rams are going to stay. They're going to hang around, long enough, just because Jared Goff looks the part.
Yeah.
And Todd Gurley's a freak. So they can score.
And they have the best pass defense in the NFC right now.
Yeah, and the run defense is terrible. But,
yes.
But, be that as it may, I think the NFC is bad enough.
What about Seattle?
See, I told you this before. I think Seattle's run is over. I don't think they make the playoffs this year because I think only one team is coming out of the West, and that's going to be the Rams, in my opinion.
Yeah, probably.
And then I think the Central may get 2 teams. The North may get 2 teams.
Yeah.
I said the Central.
Yeah, old school. You're old. You're 40.
I'm 40. I'm a man.
I forgot what the division was called.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
And then you got Philly and probably 2 teams out of that, the Eastern Division.
And I think that's Philly and Washington. You might have 3 competing teams there. Washington's not bad.
Yeah, but they still got Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins is good.
Kirk
Cousins is good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
they lose Josh
open.
Norman. They lose Josh Norman.
Yeah.
Right? He's out for an extended period.
Yeah, I don't even know.
So the NFL's
I don't
good.
pay attention.
The NFC's bad, but, so.
NFC is bad. NFC's not winning the Super Bowl this year unless it's the Vikings in their home stadium. I'm afraid to say. I don't think the team is that good. And we'll see if Vic Beasley and Atlanta make that big of a difference, but Atlanta's defense isn't what you said it would be or anybody said it would be.
It really isn't.
And their offense hasn't been as good as everyone thought it would be either.
No, and Kyle Shanahan, I apologize. Can you please come back?
Yeah, beg for your OC
because
back.
Sark is I saw this the other day, and
Steve Sarkisian, is this his first year as an offensive coordinator in the NFL?
I think in the NFL.
Okay, so because on Thursday Night Football this week, Deion Sanders and former Steelers coach guy, what's his name? Bill Cowher. They were sitting together on the CBS NFL Network set ripping Minnesota native Todd Downing because he's in his first year as the Raiders offensive coordinator. And they're like, how the hell are you going to be taken seriously if you have a first-year offensive coordinator? You can't do that if you're going to be a legit team. You can't be a Super Bowl team, lose your OC, hire a new OC, and still be considered a Super Bowl caliber team because there's a lot of bumps in the process of implementing a new playbook.
The problem isn't, to me, Sarkisian, though. I saw this stat, there are 124 players in the league with more red zone targets than Julio Jones.
Dude, I can't stand that. And even preseason, we made a point to talk about it on the show here. We were like, wow, they've come up with this new idea. The light bulb went on. They're going to throw it to Julio Jones in the red zone.
In the red zone.
But at a certain point, you just got to say, what the hell are we doing not throwing the ball to him? Just put it in the window.
Our problem,
make it uncatchable because he might go get it.
You know the Falcons' biggest problem, which is which is the most concerning thing to me, it's Matt Ryan, dude.
Well, why isn't he throwing the ball in the red zone to Julio Jones?
He is. He's throwing it to other players.
I know, but not to Julio.
No, the other team.
Oh, yeah, that's not good. He does have that tendency.
He was an MVP last year. Everything clicked. But I'm telling you, the real Matt Ryan, the what we've seen for many years, this is him.
He's back!
This is him. And I tweeted, I said, he's back. So if he can't come back to what he was last year without Kyle Shanahan holding his hand, listen, I'm telling you what, if I'm a quarterback, this is my last thing on this. If I'm a quarterback, I don't care. I don't need the offensive coordinator to tell me to target Julio Jones.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling Julio in the huddle, here's the play. XYZ, split right, 4-5, 2-6-9-4-4. And then when everybody goes break, I'm going to look over at Julio, and I'm going to wink. And that means that play I just called is a bum. You go.
Yeah, throw it to him.
I'm going to throw it to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. You saw Derek Carr do it on Thursday night. He's just like, hey, Ramari Cooper, here you go. I'm going to throw it up. You go get it.
Who?
Amari Cooper.
Ramari? That's somebody else.
Anyway, that's a lot of talk on football. But,
it is. But it's NFL season, man.
It is NFL season, and it is. There's a lot of good stuff out there. We got a lot to get to here.
We do. Woo, woo, woo.
What was that? What was that noise?
Man, I haven't heard the views.
Wait. You just did.
No.
That's a sex noise.
No, it wasn't.
That was your sex noise.
No. That was my views noise.
Okay.
I haven't heard the views bed in forever. You decided you wanted to go on vacation last week, so we had to take a week off.
All right, here, I'll throw one at you. Get you started,
What
okay?
up?
You can your way through this.
Holla at me.
Verlander, Severino, tonight. Looks like Yankees-Astros will go 7 in my mind. I got Verlander winning.
You got Verlander winning?
Tonight, yeah.
I hope it does.
That'd be a great game.
I hope it does.
I believe Game 7, I think, would be Sunday, right?
Yeah. Is it? No,
I don't know if they wait a day or not.
Saturday or Sunday.
I'm not sure.
At least on the weekend. But yeah, I hope Verlander shuts it down tonight.
Yeah.
And probably pitching in front of his idol, Nolan Ryan. Be sitting in the
you're right.
Seats, and he's gonna put. But look, the Yankees are a scary proposition going forward.
Here's the one. My caveat for Verlander failing tonight. The potential is there because the Yankees, the second time around in a week against the same pitcher, that's not fun for a pitcher. Ask Dallas Keuchel.
Yeah.
He went round 2 with him, shut him down round 1, still struck him out a bunch because that's what the Yankees do. But round 2, Yankees won. And that might happen again with Verlander. If it does, it's a Yankees-Dodgers World Series.
I could not, was it game 4? Was when the Astros went up 4-0.
Yeah.
I could not quit watching that game. And I hate the Yankees.
Because the Yankees are so they'll boom back in it real quick.
But that's playoff baseball.
It is.
That's what it does.
This has been the best year of playoff baseball in a long
been
time.
Great.
And we had a great World Series last year, of course, with the Indians and Cubs. But this all around has been really fun. And I would credit that to the Twins actually getting there.
We may be headed.
It generated interest.
We may be headed to New York, LA World Series.
Yeah, that's going to dominate. We're going to have to turn. You're going to have to turn ESPN off for an entire 2 weeks.
Right.
You will not get. You won't get any other content.
But here's what
they'll murder us.
Here's what you get though. Multiple times you get Kershaw, Judge.
That ain't good for Judge. He's strikeout prone, and Kershaw likes to strike people out.
Yeah, but best pitcher in the game against the best rookie in the game, maybe the best power hitter in the game.
Yeah, Stanton's the best power hitter, but Judge is on his ass. Yeah.
That's what I want to see, though.
All right, man.
Gophers, and we talked about it a little bit
with Tyler.
Yeah, Gophers, Illinois, TCF Bank Stadium tomorrow.
This is one where the Gophers get off the schneid. Illinois is terrible. This has a big game for Shannon Brooks, friend of the show. Big game for Rodney Smith, friend of the show. Big game for Demery Croft, throwing the ball to Tyler Johnson. And by the way, we went to that spring practice this year, and we were like, why are we even talking about Connor Rhoda? No offense, Connor, but Demery Croft is a better athlete than you, and he throws a better ball.
We stood there, and I couldn't believe, and we watched maybe an hour of practice, and you and I both, we would have probably put our mortgage on it.
Oh, yeah.
That
easily.
Demery Croft would have been
easily
the QB1.
And our buddy Kyle Gobler, Goby from 247 Sports Gophers, he was like, look, man, this has got to be Croft. And he's had every one of them.
And he was running with the ones.
Yep.
He was everything. The eye test looked better, but I think that Fleck had some internal issues.
Yeah, I don't know
that he
what
needed
those
to
were.
deal with.
Yeah.
But I think Demery is firmly entrenched as a QB1 now.
Round 2, Packers now 4-2. Think they're good enough without Aaron Rodgers just to be a 500 team rest of the way? That would mean going 4-6 in the final 10.
No.
Okay, simple as that.
No.
I agree.
Yeah. So in our NBA talker, we scammed over it a little bit, but OKC's got a big 3 now.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch their first game Thursday night?
Yeah.
So Russell Westbrook throws up a triple-double. Paul George went for like 28 and was hitting threes. Carmelo looked like he was having a blast, and he looks like he's in shape Carmelo, not fat Carmelo.
Yeah.
Because he was fat Carmelo in New York.
He didn't care.
He looks like he's in shape Carmelo now.
He looks good.
He's got something to prove. Here's the thing. I saw this stat, Rem Dog, and this is frightening if you're a team because Russell Westbrook put up a triple-double last night. Only one time last year did he not take more attempts from the floor than a teammate. Last night, Paul George took 8 more shots, and Carmelo took 11 more shots, and Carmelo took 8 more shots than Russell Westbrook. That is freaking scary.
So you could literally in the first half, it's the first time you've really seen him outside of exhibition.
Mm-hmm.
But so when it mattered, first time you've seen it, Paul George, and you could tell that Russell Westbrook was deferring to those two guys.
Yeah.
Now, his triple-double season last year was incredible.
Yep.
Simply because he's getting double-digit assists to basically nobody.
Yeah, good point.
Now he's got weapons. And so he doesn't have to do it all. They took 27 shots in the first half, those two, Paul George and Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah.
So if this is an indication of how the season's going, and they blew out the Knicks last night.
Yeah, the Knicks are terrible.
And he had a triple-double.
Yeah.
The West is going to be fun.
Yeah, at some point, I think we're going to start having a conversation about whether that starting 5 in OKC, because Steven Adams is a beast.
He's a beast.
Andre Roberson's one of the best. He's a first-team All-NBA defender. That's a really good starting 5. Is that starting 5 on par or maybe even better than the starting 5 in Golden State? I think we're going to have that conversation at some point. Because the big 3 of Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Carmelo is arguably better than the 3 best players the Warriors have. KD, Steph, because Westbrook's better than Steph, in my opinion. KD's better than anybody, almost. But Paul George or Carmelo, they're probably better than Klay Thompson.
Oh, absolutely.
And Draymond Green.
I'm not a big Klay Thompson fan. That's why I keep saying he's in a great spot. But I think on a normal team, he'd probably be more like fake Klay.
That was a good bit, too. Yeah. Fake Klay was awesome.
And Steve Kerr with the low burn.
Oh, I loved it. Hey, Marshawn Lynch got ejected Thursday Night Football. He ran off the sideline, pushed a ref, and then guess what he did? He watched the game in the stands while wearing a ski mask so people wouldn't see him. They caught on, of course. And then the guy, average Joe, just took the train home with everybody else. The dude is a legend.
Marshawn Lynch, if he had a GoPro strapped to him 24 hours a day and it was on TV, so, I think back in the late 90s, mid-90s, early 90s, we began to get 24-hour news.
Yeah.
So CNN or whatever.
Yeah.
24-hour news channels. And then we got ESPN News.
Yeah.
If there was a beast mode news, so BMN.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
I'd watch it 24 hours a day. I'd stream it. I'd watch it.
I'd watch it all day.
Dude, he has no cares to give you, me, or anybody.
That ref, anybody. His team, he doesn't care.
Now,
he's Marshawn Lynch.
He shouldn't have did it.
No.
But
he's Marshawn Lynch, and he can kind of do whatever the heck he wants to do, and that's just the way it's going to be, everybody.
He probably thought the ref took his Skittles. So...
It's my turn, isn't it? No, it's your turn.
No, it's me, boss.
Okay.
What's the deal with the Minnesota Wild having this many days off? I think I heard somebody, maybe it was the coach, Boudreaux?
Yeah.
Say it was like playing college hockey.
Yeah, games on weekends and that's it?
Yeah.
Well, this is interesting. Me and D2 from GoMN Sports, we did a deep dive on this, and here's the reality. Friday night, the Wild played the Winnipeg Jets, and they've only played 4 games before tonight. All season long. We're almost 3 weeks into this thing, right? 4 games. At least, not at least, 28 of the 31 other teams, or 28 of 31 teams in the NHL have played at least 6 games. Some have played 8 games, like Chicago. And Chicago plays their 9th game, I think, tomorrow night. Minnesota has 2 spells of at least 4 days off. No other team has more than 4, and it's only like 4 teams have had a 4-day break.
Right.
It's a bunch of crap. We did a video on it, D2 did, explaining the whole thing. But essentially, you can blame the scheduling conflicts that the state of hockey has for the NCHC college hockey tournament, the tournaments in March for the high school tourney, all that stuff, concerts. All of that goes into play for scheduling games, and that's why the Wild are getting screwed early in the season.
You concerned about the Wild at all?
Yeah, because they have like 8 healthy forwards right now, and Mikhail Granlund's coming back, and Marcus Foligno is going to play with a broken face, which, hey, okay, tough guy sport. Not Kristaps Porzingis, but Nikola Mirotic get punched in the face by Bobby Portis in Chicago.
That was nasty.
Facial fractures and a concussion, expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. Marcus Foligno of the Wild gets into a fight on the ice.
That's what would happen to you if you...
Yeah, it would. I'd be out for longer. Foligno gets hit in the face. He suffers a facial fracture. He's back the next game. Think about that. That's a hockey player where you're going to get hit in the face constantly, whether it's a check or being smashed into the glass or getting into a fight like Foligno. Basketball player, never gets touched in the face, misses a month and a half.
And football guy breaks his finger, he's out 6 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. God, it hurts to catch.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So,
I am worried about the Wild. They have a lot of injuries. It's not good.
That's right.
A fan's dream for you, Georgia Bulldog football. Surefire, they look like a surefire Final Four team this year.
Man, they look good. But born and raised in Georgia, I got Georgia blood, Georgia tattoos.
You're going to lose to Florida this week, aren't you?
Listen, our season, whether we're 0-7 or 7-0, comes down to Jacksonville.
Isn't this
and the world's
stupid, though?
largest outdoor cocktail party. But here's the thing. Florida's so bad right now, but it never matters. But I got a bunch of buddies that always go to that game, and they spend the week down there in Jacksonville.
These are chat room buddies, right?
And message board, 24/7.
Yeah, they're not your buddies. You've never met them before.
No, I've met quite a few of them, actually. But
you're like the guy in the movie Her.
No, I got real friends that go, too.
Dating a talking computer.
No. I know a bunch of these guys, and I also know people that go there. Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted. The Florida tickets are so abundant right now. If you've ever watched that game, it's 50-50. It's split right down not the 50-yard line, but right down the center of the field, the center line of the goalpost.
Yeah.
Red and blue.
Yep.
It might be like we did to Notre Dame. And then again at Vanderbilt, it might be the Georgia takeover. I got so many people are telling me that the Florida tickets are in abundant right now, and cheap, and they're giving them away. So, again, 7-0, 0-7. Our season comes down to this game.
Yeah, but if you lose, then your season's basically over because nobody cares about anything outside of the Final Four.
But the reality is this, and this is what I believe: the Pac-12's not getting a team in. They're just not good enough. And Washington already had a bad loss.
What about Stanford?
Stanford's not even a consideration.
Aren't they good?
No.
No.
Big Ten is going to get one because they're going to beat each other up so bad.
Yeah.
I don't think Penn State's as good as they're ranked.
No, they're going to lose to the Buckeyes this week.
So, and Wisconsin has played nobody with an above 500 record.
But their running back, that freshman, is legit.
Doesn't matter. They're paper champions, paper tigers.
All right.
SEC if Georgia goes undefeated and Alabama goes undefeated and they play a close game in the SEC championship.
Both go.
They have to.
Yeah.
They have to. Ohio State didn't win this division last year.
No, you're right. You're right.
That's what I think.
You're right.
But listen, it all comes down to next Saturday.
Yeah.
We got a bye week. Let's go.
Gophers might get in.
How many times did you watch?
I'm just kidding.
Reach mode. Hey,
Yeah.
be honest. How many times did you watch Gordon Hayward's leg snap?
A lot. I can't stop watching that.
Did you watch it with the volume on?
Oh, yeah.
You can hear the bone snap.
I didn't hear that, but all I know is Kevin Harlan or Marv Albert or whoever's calling the game was like, he broke his leg. Oh, my gosh, he broke his leg. His leg is broken.
Yep.
And it just was dangling there. And they immediately said it
They
back.
said it, yeah.
That's insane what
Did you
those
see
guys
his
do.
reaction?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked like he got shot in the head.
Play
with
it
that
back next time in a quiet environment and turn the volume up super loud. You can hear the bone snap.
Really?
You can hear it.
Yep. Oh, my gosh.
Turn the volume up. Put your little earbuds in there.
Okay,
You
I will
hear
do
snap.
that.
Yep.
Oh, that's nasty. This is quiet, but nobody seems to care anymore. You know what happens tonight and tomorrow night?
I know where you're going with this.
Gophers, North Dakota hockey. First time they've played in the regular season in 5 years. It's up at Ralph Engelstad Arena.
That's right.
And you can't watch it locally. It's not on TV here in the Twin Cities.
I'll find it.
Did you know? I know how you can find it. Actually,
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody because you might want to know.
Yep.
You have to you have to either go to Joe Sensors in Bloomington or Roseville and have a viewing party, or you have to subscribe to the North Dakota NCHC.TV Day Pass for $15.95.
But wait, the Sioux came here and played at Mariucci.
The who?
The Sioux.
That's not your team.
The Fighting
the Hiding
Sioux.
Hawks.
The Fighting Sioux. We just played here last year or the year before last. One of the two.
Yeah, well, that's because the conference has broadcast rights, and that was the Big
No,
Ten.
but you said we haven't played in like 5 years. But we did. The Sioux came here.
First time that Minnesota's been up there.
Yeah. But your question was, does anyone care anymore?
No.
We do.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares here because the Gophers have been so bad for so long.
But
and the conference is awful.
The rivalry's meaningless now.
I mean,
it's gone.
The rivalry is not the same simply because
the name changed for one. That hurt it bad.
It did. It hurt it for Gopher fans because the Gopher Sioux it just rolls off the tongue.
Right now it's Gophers
Fighting
UND
Hawks.
or whatever.
Yeah, Gophers Fighting Hawks.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the same. Just they messed up with the realignment.
Can you name one player for the Gophers in North Dakota?
Yeah, Cam Johnson's the goalie for the Fighting Sioux.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't know any Gophers. I don't care about hockey.
But the Fighting Sioux are young. They lost a lot last year, so I don't even know that the game will matter.
I feel bad for them.
Go Sioux! Hey. we had so many conversations about this and him not getting touches. How was he going to get touches in New Orleans with that offense?
Yeah.
And Drew Brees likes to throw it. There's 3 backs down there. Kamar looks really good out of the backfield because he can catch it in Jay Payton's offense.
Yeah. Jay Payton?
Sean Payton, my bad. Who's Jay Payton?
I don't know.
Sean Payton. Where was Adrian going to fit in? Well, we found out really quick.
Nowhere. Sideline. Nice spot for you on the bench there, Adrian.
Perfect scenario. Adrian Peterson said a prayer, and God answered his prayers.
I doubt that's how it happened, but okay.
But regardless of that, he landed in what might be a perfect situation.
Yeah, it is a
better
perfect
offense.
Situation.
Somewhere they're going to turn around, hand it to him 20, 25 times a game.
Yep.
And he looked good, man.
Adrian Peterson, 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I only care because I have him on a couple of my fantasy football teams.
It wasn't the fact that when you look at the box score, hey, AP had an AP day. Did you watch him?
I did.
His vision is still there.
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely still there. His 27-yard touchdown run, the hole was about, it was like 6 to 8 inches wide, and he jumped over a couple of linemen's feet, and then he blasted through the end zone. He still got it. There's no question. You just can't ask him to be in an offense where when he's on the field, he's running. Or you can't pretend that you're going to throw the ball to him. You can't do it.
We've talked about this ad nauseum. Larry Fitzgerald still might be one of the top 5 receivers in the game.
Yeah.
That running game is Carson Palmer's best friend.
Yeah.
He's got weapons, man. John Brown is a freak. Mm-hmm. And Larry Fitzgerald is still I want to check his birth certificate. That dude might be 25 years old still. You know what I'm saying? It's not fair to be like that.
Yeah,
like our buddy Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, come on. These guys, man, are incredible. And AP makes Arizona. We didn't even talk about them in our NFL.
They're not a legit contender in the NFC. They're not. They're
a contender in that division?
That division's pretty bad, then.
I think AP makes them a contender in that division.
I'll be interested to see how it
completely forgot about it. Yeah.
But AP will have another big game this week against
I got one more for you, though. Don't go nowhere.
We'll close it with it.
Yeah. Back to A-Rod's, because we can't get enough of this, right?
Yeah, A-Rod.
A-Rod walks into a bar. No, Wisconsinites, we said it earlier, but I want to get your opinion on this, man. They're holding a prayer vigil for him.
Yeah.
And there's one Sunday. It's
Wait, this is real, right?
This is
They're
real.
Actually
this is
holding
actually
prayer vigils.
Across the state. The one Sunday is from 11 to 11:30, and it's in Madison. Now,
oh my God.
So I want to get your opinion on it, but I want to say this first. Do the Wisconsin Badgers play at home a noon game?
On Saturday?
On Saturday?
I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. Because they had to move it to Sunday because between 11 and 11:30 in Madison on Saturday, 90% of the population will be hammered.
Yeah.
So they had to move this thing to Sunday.
You can't pray when you're drunk. I think those two don't go together that well. And when you do, it's called a desperation Hail Mary, which Aaron Rodgers is good at. But good luck coming back from this one, A-Rod.
So give me your thoughts on this prayer vigil. Are you going?
I would go if I were a drunk Scotty with cheese. But no, I'm not going. No, absolutely not.
What? Literally. From a monetary standpoint.
How much?
How much would it take to get you to go and actually participate
And not
legitimately,
for like a work bit.
Not sarcastic, not a work bit. You literally, to get the money, would have to go there, cry, like get real tears, and be legitimately involved. Hug other Wisconsinites, cry, have a shoulder to lean on as they have this prayer vigil. And you'd have to light a candle too. How much would it take?
I don't know, probably $2,000.
You do it for $2,000?
Well, yeah,
travel included, hotel and all that.
Yeah. Wipe out $500 or so for all the expenses.
$1,500?
Yeah, I'd do it for $1,500.
God, you're
I don't
sell out.
Hey, look, man, I don't make six figures. Okay, I gotta do what I can do.
Listen,
I'm not Jeremy Morris.
Money ain't everything. Listen,
yes, it is.
Ask me how much it would take to go to a Florida Gators prayer vigil if Tim Tebow broke his collarbone. Ask me.
But you're unrealistic.
Ask me.
How much?
$1 million. And then I would need a 3-day waiting period to think about it.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't go for less than $1 million.
Oh,
and you got to pay my travel expenses.
I'm done with you. I hope Florida beats Georgia. I hope the Vikings win. I hope the Gophers win. I know Jamal Crawford's going to put up like 30. But thanks to Nate Wolters and our guy Tyler Johnson.
You have to be a Georgia fan now. Jake Reed's coming on the show.
If he comes on the show, I will be obsessed with
because his son plays
Georgia
for the
Bulldogs.
Dogs.
All right, man. Say your thing.
All right, man. My thing is we haven't been here in 2 weeks, but after 2 weeks, I'm still great. And you,